Hello, students. In this video, we'll learn the steps for multiplying fractions. When you multiply fractions together, you multiply the top two numbers and you multiply the bottom two numbers. Simple. But the instructions also say to write the product in simplest form. Simplest form means it must be reduced. And these problems are easiest if we do the reducing before we do the multiplying. Let's try number one. In number one, let's try to do the reducing before I do the multiplying. Do you see any top number that reduces nicely with the bottom number? I'm looking at the 3 and the 9. I could reduce 3 and 9 by dividing by 3 and dividing by 3. When I divide by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1. And when I divide by 3, 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now after I've done the reducing, I multiply the top numbers and multiply the bottom numbers. Top numbers are 1 times 5. Bottom numbers are 7 times 3. Got it. Let's try that again. Here comes number 2. I know I'm going to multiply the top numbers together. I know I'm going to multiply the bottom numbers together, but I also know I'm supposed to reduce. Let's try to reduce first. Are there any tops and any bottoms that reduce nicely? Well, I can divide 6 into 6, and I can divide 6 into 18. 6 goes into 6 one time. 6 goes into 18 3 times. Now multiply the top numbers and the bottom numbers. The tops, 1 times 1 is 1. In the bottoms, 11 times 3 is 33. Got it. This is the way I want you to show your work. You write the problem down, do the reducing, multiply tops and bottoms. That's your final answer. Now let's be careful with number 3. I'm multiplying a positive times a negative. When I multiply with one negative, my answer is negative. So without doing any thinking at all, I'm going to get my answer ready as a negative answer. Now I multiply tops, I multiply bottoms, but I try to reduce first. Hey, look, if that's a 4 and that's a 4, those are certainly both divisible by 4. 4 goes into 4 one time. 4 goes into 4 one time. Now my tops are 1 times 1. My bottoms are 9 times 1. Final answer, negative 1/9. Look at number 4. This time I'm multiplying with 2 negatives. When you multiply with 2 negatives, your answer is positive. I can ignore the negatives now because I know my answer is going to be positive. Now I should multiply tops, multiply bottoms, but try to reduce first. But in this problem, nothing reduces. You can't reduce 7 and 6. You can't reduce 5 and 8. Nothing reduces, so all we do is multiply. Multiply the numerators, 5 times 7. Multiply the denominators, 6 times 8. And since I had 2 negatives and I'm multiplying, my final answer is positive. Looks great. 5, 6, and 7 have variables in them. So we'll make sure that we discuss the rules for those as well. In number 5, I'm going to multiply. So I'll multiply tops, multiply bottoms, but let's look to reduce first. I'm looking at the 6 and the 30. Aren't those both divisible by 6? I'll divide 6 by 6, that's 1. Divide 30 by 6, that's 5. Now multiply tops and bottoms. In the top, 19 times x times 1. Now multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything. 19 times x times 1 is 19 times x. In the bottom, 5 times 7, that's 35. 19x over 35, that's a good final answer. Let's try number 6. Can you find tops and bottoms that reduce nicely? Well, I see 5 and 20. Those are going to reduce. I can divide 5 by 5, and I can divide 20 by 5. But look at the 9 and the 6. Those can reduce as well. I can divide by 3 and divide by 3. 6 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3. Let's keep going. I see an x in the top and an x in the bottom. That x in the top perfectly cancels that x in the bottom. All right, now I'm ready for a final answer. In the top, I have 3 times 1. In the bottom, I have 4 times 2. The x's have canceled out, so no x's in my answer. Finally, I was multiplying a negative times a positive. That's 1 negative. And when you multiply with 1 negative, your answer is negative. Negative 3/8, a good answer for number 6. Now for number 7, I'm going to rewrite the problem. X to the third power means x times itself 3 times. M to the fourth power is m times itself 4 times. The second fraction has an m in the numerator and x squared, x times x, in the denominator. Let's do some reducing. There's one m in the top that perfectly cancels one of the m's in the bottom. There are 2 x's in the bottom here that perfectly cancel 2 x's in the top here. Now technically, when these cancel away, they become 1s. You don't have to write the 1s, but we'll think about them being there. Here comes my final answer. Multiply the tops. X times 1 times 1 times 1. That's x. In the bottom, m times m times m times 1 times 1 times 1. That's 3 m's, which is m to the third power. Now, some of you have studied some algebra in the past, and you might be able to look at this problem and go here without rewriting the problem. That's okay too, if you can do it in your head. All right, your turn. Go try some homework problems and then meet me back here.